Man, I'm gonna have to be extra intuitive about this one because I'll be honest, I'm actually feeling kind of nervous. Maybe you're feeling nervous for some sort of closing, some sort of coming together or alchemy that's taking place in your life right now. So, disclaimers. If I trigger you at all during during this video, I want you to breathe and sit with it because that's what spirit intends for my physical form and the words that come out of my mouth. I know this to be a very powerful tool because I've looked at my videos from a year ago and they scared the living crap out of me. And so I understand that that's an element. We need to kind of just sort of center ourselves. And if we can get the information and come back and get more higher dimensional information out of these videos and out of these reads, we will be better on our track, on our path to ascension. Like I said, got to keep this intuitive because there's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot of imagination and fantasy energy going around. I call it imagination and fantasy because we work with perceptual reality. When we climb up in our awakening experience into higher consciousness, um, there's so much to unpack. And I just sort of wanted to be intuitive surrounding the subject around the mind-heart coherence. If you've ever studied or if you understand in your internal functions what the mind-heart coherence is and how we use it, great. But I guess a rough explanation is the mind-heart coherence is the tool we discover as light workers, not only in our healing magic, but in our reality, to change our reality and manifestations and to understand what is on the hearts and minds of others who reflect our story as we move along in our journey, moving into higher consciousness. So it's a very important tool. So you want to understand it. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about it, but it is relative to this video or this intuitive reading, which isn't necessarily supposed to be about tarot. But I have the tarot cards out here because I was having a very loving, intuitive conversation with my spirit guide, who happens to be my sister. And so, center yourself, ground yourself, and try to understand the realities that come out of higher dimensional perception. So basically, which you probably can't see on the camera in full, but we have a full reading here. And this was a conversation, this was a message that Angel, my sister, Piscean sun, Aquarian moon energy reflects from the shadow realm. Let's just say there's a lot to it. There's a lot of protections and a lot of understanding involved. Did I mention the stupid hat, by the way? Yeah, I didn't want to shave, so I decided, well, Angel decided, she said, put on your stupid hat. And I was like, okay, because I was feeling insecure about the face. So the eyes, I don't know if I'm going to ever be able to show my eyes anymore. Well, I don't know. My eyes are like portals into a really, really deep, dark place you don't want to go. So my words are enough to trigger you. So let's not have the whole eyeball thing, at least for now. If you can kind of comprehend, leave me a comment down in the comments, or give this video a thumbs up if this is tickling your fancy. If this is funny as shit, hearing me talk like a fool out loud like this. All right, so back to the reading. Me and Angel were having a conversation. And so this has been coming up. This came up, I wrote a post about letting the inner child lead the way, educating the inner child, raising them up in this time to pull you forward in this moment. Every single moment leads you into every single moment is the future. Okay, dissect the code out of that. Go read the post and get the message. But at least for now, what we were talking about just so happened to come out with inner child, right? So this is you might not be able to see it clearly, but this is a depiction of a serpent dragon that is pretty much grounded into the earth, coming up and then coming down, talking to the child, the inner child that is discovering the wisdom of the dragon. And there's jellyfish in here too. You can barely see that, but there's jellyfish also. And it almost gives a yellow brick road vibe. Okay, it's got the tree with the sunny disposition centered to the tree. All this is relevant. Okay, very rainbowy in color, telling me that somebody sees in a rainbow spectrum, which is another end of the spectrum I can kind of see. But when I look in rainbow, it always just goes clear. So I see rainbow when I like imagine, or rainbow auras is, in fact, I can see a rainbow aura off in my right perception, my right optical perception right now for some reason. Um, but there's a whole thing to rainbow light, and that is significant in this read too, significant to you and your story. I'm putting this card away because she wants to pull more. There's a whole particular way Angel likes to do her reads, and a whole specific way that I've been learning for a while now that she likes to present herself. So the whole reason, let me start with the whole reason why I acknowledge her. The whole reason why I acknowledge this energy out loud, with truth and confidence, is because the more you do this, the more powerful these energies make you in your healing and in your perception. So when I don't acknowledge her, I get a lot less synchronicities. But when I acknowledge her and actually spend time with that inner child, then magic starts to happen, and she leads me down crazy ass roads that produce items of interest in my perception that lead. How do you explain this? They lead you in a multi-dimensional way of bringing both past and future together in present moment in your perceptual reality to be able to resolve solutions in your life. Okay, various solutions. It just depends on your perception. You might have to deal with one solution at a time, or you might deal with one thing that eliminates all issues in a certain dynamic of your astrological chart, or in problems that manifest themselves, or just cycles that you want to tune and fix. So these energies can be very powerful, but you got to give permission to your imagination first. And so that is part of this example, to embarrass myself on YouTube and talk about my sister, who is the energy that I play with energetically to get answers and solve serious riddles of the human perceptual experience. And so a lot of the messages that you get on this channel come from her, because she's that honest, playful side. And we have this huge interdimensional history, both backwards and forwards, that manifests itself in my perceptual reality here in this moment. So I don't know what the time is on the clock, but that was a whole lot to explain about inner child. I'm sure someone's going to resonate with that. Help me out by leaving something, an emoji in the comments or something. I don't know. I'm not good at this. I'm kind of growing this channel, and I choose to do so without advertising or any kind of gimmicks aside from the stupid hat. But just me and this honest, stupid, way I do things. I love it. but there is deep light worker coding, light codes in every spirit message and mistake and synchronicity that you'll find. And the thing I love about this is that you can come back to these videos over and over and over, and you can find more and more information as you climb up in your awakening, in your perceptual experience. And so the mind-heart coherence is your tool for understanding what is your truth and what the message is you are supposed to get out of it. Which is how you learn to be confident with the spirit guides and particular resonance that you work with, or particular spirits, or if you choose to go down the road of being a medium for spirits, if that's what you want to do. That's not necessarily what I do. You could do that though. My expertise would be in the mind-heart coherence, in being able to perceive what is most important in a person's development, which is honing in on the deep dark stuff that will provide that light will shed solutions on. Hopefully you can understand what that means, and hopefully you can relate with that. But so that's what so it's understanding what tools are correct to use in receiving that information. And so that is not just blind faith and trust in what's coming into your brain, but it has to have the mind heart coherence. And when you have the mind heart coherence, you can actually do some crazy stuff. I don't necessarily work with bells. I don't work, not that this stuff doesn't work. This stuff of course works on all kinds of dimensions, but I don't work with bells. I don't work with what else don't I work with? I don't work with I don't necessarily have to work with Palo Santo or any kind of smoke, because your heart actually has the ability, your heart mind coherence has the ability to clear anything. It has the ability to transmute any kind of energy, and it starts with your own emotions. So as you go through these painful memories and all that, the boohoo part of spirituality, you clear out more, and you adapt more, and you start to sink in more, and then the crazy cool stuff starts to happen. And so the mind heart coherence is incredibly important for the longevity of sustainable homeostasis, which is your brain and body function. So I'm not a brain scientist. I'm just going to keep on going with this. I'm not a brain scientist, but I understand how integration works. And so if you don't understand, you should really look these things up. It's taking the subconscious factors of the mind, hidden information, and letting the analytical functions have at them. And your mind-heart coherence will transmute the energy to make it available in a higher cognitive function. Okay, and then this is where you get your superpowers. And the brain interprets, so the brain interprets life in two ways. Okay, don't let this trigger you. It interprets life in two ways. One is, I'm surviving and life is sustainable and I'm content. And, life is not surviving and I am about to exit this life and so on and so forth, very uncomfortable. Now, that might seem like a bad thing, but the way that it's interpreted is actually when the brain is in the non-survival mode and it thinks it's not surviving, it adapts and starts to pump out all these chemicals and these life-giving compounds that evolve your neuroplasticity. I don't know, that word just came out. I wonder if that's even true. But like I said in my last video, I can just get whatever answer I want. But so when your brain starts to emit things like DMT and endorphins and all that, and you have control of that mind-heart coherence, miracles start to happen. You start to recover from illnesses really quickly, or you start to recover from long-term problems. I don't grow hair on my head. I haven't grown hair on my head most of my life and on my body most of my life because, in excess, because my body doesn't need to, because the brain function is at higher cognitive. So the subconscious functions and more basic functions are attuned to all the other functions. So I am a lot younger than I look. I don't know how young I look to your perception, but I'm actually twice as old as I look to people in my physical reality. When I go around, there's not a single person that thinks that I'm as old as I am. I'm just going to leave it a mystery, but I am twice as old than I look. Which is why when I tell my story, it includes a lot of information, but you try to make sense of it because I'm actually really young looking, depending on who you are. So that was a lot said. I don't even know if I'm going to be able, I gotta look at the time because I need to keep these at 30 minutes. It just makes more sense that way. Oh, we got half that time. Okay, so So I want to pull a card for you. Excuse me, Angel wants to pull a card for you, and I'm not sure how we're going to get to this epic tarot. Maybe we'll get to this too. But the mind-heart coherence is incredibly important in connecting with everything and your magic and your healing magic, your practicality, your grounding, your grounding to the earth, and making sure that the things that you believe are not way too far out there, out of your grasp, that you can't understand where they come from. That's your mind-heart coherence. And so that's why I always recommend, when you attune all of your chakras to the according crystal that your guides intuitively guide you to. Like, for example, this and the throat chakra, the lapis lazuli, blue for the throat chakra. Attuning to it, and you can do it with anyone. The lower chakras is the one I use for my lower chakra. You can attune just like your heart attunes to getting the right information. The frequency can be attuned to, and so you will eventually climb up the ladder and start to feel that. I recommend starting with the mind-heart coherence, because attuning to truths or frequencies with your heart is much easier to begin with, but then keep exercising that throat chakra and all of your chakras as best as you can, and use your imagination, because the magic starts to open up. Okay. So yeah, wow. Please leave me a comment down below if any of this is making sense to you, because it's just a lot of information coming in. I had here a spirit riddle that I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to any of this information. Let me just pick out some random information that that applies to people in the story while I shuffle this. Angel, come on in. Okay, so she says spirit numbers. We have, all right, spirit numbers and letters. Here, this is what we got right here. So we've got 7, 777, 555, 13, which is underlined, 15, and 25. And so the reason why 13 is underlined is because there are 13 letters. Okay, so those are numbers, and now we got letters. We got T, S, G, V, P, F, W, B, Y, E, R, K, D. That's 13 letters, and those are all names she's telling me, and Saturn energy is telling me from this message. These, and this obviously is all specific to somebody, but these are all names, the letters of names that apply along your journey or in the story. And other notes, we have the number 7. So the number 7 in this message, which is the number 7, someone is not looking back on things, is what you are thinking. This is not a time to be correct. So this is Angel's message to you. It's healing hands. I don't think I've ever pulled this one, but I did pull it in a read a while back. Let's see. What was at the bottom? Life review. Number 36 was at the bottom. So healing hands comes with a number 6. And so you got 2 healing hands holding each other. It looks like they are mirrored to each other, and they are coming out of the abyss in a wispy, earthy air, and almost like water condensing into water in front of a staircase that leads to a higher dimension. There's a crack in the earth. The stairway is also a bridge that goes over a gap, a void. You can see mysticky pillars and mysticky hallways as far as the eye can see into the cloudy blue void. All right. And so let's see what her message is on the healing hands. I'm going to read this. Well, actually, yeah, I got to hold it up. 6. right to it. All right, healing hands. Let's see if I can do this. All right. All right. All right, thank you, Angel, for this message. Here it is. From the chaos in your heart, the healing hands card appears to guide you in times of distress. The healing hands on this card signify two hands joined, with one representing order and the other chaos. In this world of polarities, you cannot have one without the other. However, once the chaos has been felt and experienced, a calm order will prevail. You may be feeling some strong emotions, such as rejection, betrayal, confusion, or hurt. And it can be hard to process these big feelings. Stay with them. Cry, shout, talk to a friend, write, sing, or dance. That's what I do. Do what you need to do to release the emotions so they do not stay stuck in your body. When emotions stay trapped, they form a mesh-like armor that blocks the beautiful, healing, universal energy from flowing through you. After you have released your feelings, you will sense a calmness wash over you. It's hard to read with these glasses. But by relaxing and letting go, your inner turmoil can return to a state of calm and relaxation. When you draw this card, it may feel like the universe is conspiring against you, but you need to trust that what is happening to you right now is happening for a reason. When all seems like chaos around you, become the eye of the storm, the calm center that knows that whatever happens, you will always be okay. And so the action on this card is ask yourself what lessons can be learned from the situation you are in. Acknowledge the pain you feel and then discover how you can, or how can you turn this experience into something positive and empowering. Right. Okay, so that and inner child. Okay, so the inner child does empower you. Right? That's what the message was in my post that Angel provided. I need to start giving her more credit because crazy things happen, like I said, in my reality when I do that. And it's a lesson to be learned, to be a child at play, to be an educated adult child at play. But then to also carry wisdom with you, right? Carry wisdom with you, convey wisdom with you, emanate the frequency of wisdom. Do I have something on my lip? Let's get some coffee in my system. Maybe we'll let this go a couple more minutes. Thank you, Angel, for that message. Okay, do you want to pull any other cards? All right, so we talked about the mind-heart coherence. Okay, we talked about tuning our chakras or our energy centers and how that is all relevant to the mind integration, subconscious information coming out. And how that really leads to greater power, right? Step one, we need greater power. Thank you, Angel. Like I said, she only pulls left hands. She doesn't like poppers. And I definitely don't dare insult her with a right hand pull. Because when you acknowledge this resonance, this power in you, this power that extends from you into the outside world for the sake of healing and inspiration. Wow, what is this? It's a 7 of books. What was I gonna say? What were you gonna say, Angel? When you extend that out, it gives you more confidence, and that's what I'm guessing that this. Oh, confidence over illusions, confidence over to see opportunities beyond the illusions, because that's what your seventh dynamic will always have. Those. Okay, that's where the gods manifest. your options and declare what is truth in your reality. But to understand what the future holds in your seventh dynamic every step of the way, you need to learn how to attune. Now let's find out what this seven means. The seven of books. So it looks like an armored griffin, or some dude posing as an armored griffin. Maybe that's significant in your story. Wow, that's kind of exciting. I like this epic tarot. Yeah, see. Where are the books? Where are the books? Where be book? Oh, there we go. Seven opportunities and illusions. Okay, no, but what it really says here, I'm gonna try to hold it up for you, is the book forgotten. Becoming a servant to an idea can transform you into an automation. Take a break from your toils and turn to nature, who creates great beauty. Nature creates good beauty. That's what I meant. Refill your soul and find fresh inspiration. All right. Okay. So maybe you want to take some time to smell the flowers. Take some time out. Separate what's going on in your reality with who you are as a magical being in your own essence. And we can always do that by communing with nature, reading a book, absorbing our own resonance resonance and creative energy. Okay. All right. And then we have alchemy. We have forgiveness. 10 of swords. We've got in this depiction, we have the male and the female coming together, working together, and they're on this slant. They're kind of like reaching it for each other. They're on this sort of slant, but they got each other. And this is a card of forgiveness, a completion number 10. There's a pillar behind them. It looks like they ran around each side of the pillar and met each other hand for hand. Pillars, hands. So maybe this is actually in reality for somebody. Maybe that's somewhere where there are stone pillars. Two people or two energies will meet each other hand in hand and understand. Wow, that came out. Okay, then you've got all the elements. You got the griffin, the dragon, the phoenix, and the unicorn. Those are all representations in this epic tarot so we went from one in major arcana to 10 in a communication, swords. So in the human perceptual experience, to go from a 1 to a 10 is actually very significant, and especially when you have a number of opportunities and illusions between them presenting themselves in your present reality, which is what this card represents, is in smack dab in your present. Let's see what's in the shadow. Well, we're here, Angel. And then we'll wrap it up with this. So, in the shadow, we got the 4 of books. In the shadow, we've got the 4 of cups. And then we've got the Griffin of Cups, which is an action card. Let's see what it means. All right. And we'll close it out with this, 4 of Cups. Or, 4 of Books. Open up right to it, 4 of Books. The book of... Hang on, this has got to be it. It's a book, it's a 4, yeah. The book abandoned. She doesn't look like she's abandoning it, though. It's a book, the book abandoned, but it doesn't appear in my perceptual reality that she's abandoning the book at all. It actually looks like she's integrating with it and floating above all the nonsense in her life. The book abandoned, creativity, ideas, and projects bring so much energy to life. It is easy to get addicted to constant consuming. For now, though, just savor the experience without rushing to the next thing. All right, that always seems to be the message, doesn't it? And that is right below your magic. That is right below the magician. Oh, by the way, the message on this magician in this book is actually the child. This is the child adult, the educated child moving forward to pull you through in each moment. That is so insane how that card actually represents that if I was to read it from this book. Um, let's see. So we got 4-4. So 4-4 obviously is significant. And now we have the Four of Cups. There's something on my note. Chalices. All right. So the chalice lost. Love putrefies. Love putrefies if kept in the dark for too long. You sleep, dream, and your life in this world in entropies. Ooh, doesn't sound good. Holding something too tight kills it, and the decay attracts unwelcome interlopers. Oh, so you got some interlopers. You got some interlopers coming up in the shadow because and they are representing this seventh dynamic illusion. That's why you need to retreat. So that's why you're doing less, because in the present moment you're dealing with interlopers and it's dragging you down. Maybe some energy vampires stealing your cup. And then so we'll end with the cup explanation of the griffin, chalices, griffin. The griffin is the knight. Yes, the griffin is the knight. So it's a movement, it's an action card. The chalice in action, all the dreams, sweetness, and love in the world slip away as if they never were if they are not acted on. Action gives them power and direction. With power comes responsibility. Use it wisely. So that's in your future. So there is a time to come together and alchemize and to take action, But right now, safety is what they're telling me. Safety. And that has everything to do with the inner child and these healing hands coming together, alchemizing, spending time, educating and raising that child to bring them up in this moment to lead our future, to lead us into that future, with responsibility, care, compassion, awareness, and a higher sense of a mind-heart coherence. My name's Ryan. You've been watching Crosswatcher. I'll catch you guys later. Until the end, Angel says, peace.